Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to the video. I'm going to break down how to become more fit. This is a picture of me before in the past. And at that time, I was really confused with becoming physically more fit. I was basically just doing push ups at home and trying to figure out ways to, doing a lot of jumping jacks and a lot of home activities because I didn't really want to invest in a gym. It seemed too much of a commitment. So I kind of just did everything off the cuff and hoped for the best for my future. And that's kind of a weird thing to do, right? So I'm going to make it easier for you. You probably are quite young when you're watching this video because I don't think someone that's experienced will watch this video. And if you are, hopefully you might gain something from this video. But if you're not, then all good. Then I'm targeting the right audience, right? Young people who want to get physically better because they think that will exponentially improve their lives. And that is very true, right? That is very true. So a lot of people talk about exercises. A lot of people talk about nutrition. A lot of people talk about being consistent. A lot of people talk about forms. A lot of people. There's just so much content out there, and that can actually lead you to analysis paralysis. You actually want to sometimes be like those old bodybuilders where they just did it, right? Like one of the slogans from Nike is just to do it. And that's so popular because it resonates with people. People subconsciously know that we all have all these informations, but we struggle to put into action. And that is a pandemic. That is actually that's a pandemic. So everyone is struggling with it. Now, aside from all these informations about how to become more fit, if you were to put it in a pyramid, if you were to arrange it in priorities, I would actually say you should focus on your mental health. Now, that is a skill. That is something you can improve. It is the ability to catch yourself not thinking wrong things. It is the ability to catch yourself of being in the moment, because one of my favorite spiritual teachers says, Eckhart Tolle, the present moment is the only moment there is. So you want to try to practice that as much as possible. I also recommend you read this book called The Power of Now, probably one of my favorite spiritual books. And it talks pretty much about 3 principles. So it talks about what I just said. What is the present moment. It talks about you are not your mind, so you're not your thought, right? We tend to think that we are our thought, but you actually want to know that you are not your thought. And then thirdly is just accept. Exhale, inhale, exhale, and just accept what it is. Sometimes you have to acknowledge and accept what is, what you see, what is available, and what you're thinking. Negative or positive, doesn't matter. Just accept. You are not your thought, right? So you want to invest in your mental health. I'm going to share the tools you could use to improve your mental health, but I really want you to get better at taking care of your mental health, because I think fitness, nutrition will become very easy after that. One of the struggles we have is we're not programmed right? Like I said earlier, Einstein's quote, insanity is doing the same thing again and again and again. And if you don't have, so I'm a Buddhist and I also believe in reincarnation, and I like to consider this life, my body, as a vehicle. And I want to get more fit as much as possible to my body's limit, considering my priorities as I age, right? Because I might have a family, I might do certain jobs, so I don't know. No one knows the future. And I'm okay with that. That's actually better for my mental health, because if I think about the future too much, then that will make me very anxious. Anyways, I was digressing. Now, the tools that I recommend is quite simple, actually. It just requires you to be consistent with it. Obviously, we're not perfect, so we can miss some days, but as long as you set it as a priority, it's good. So first is to meditate more. everyone's already talking about it, but I'm just going to remind you again. Meditate more. So it could be very simple, even 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I just want you to be better at being alone in a quiet space. Just be better at meditating, be better at incorporating awareness, be better at becoming, bringing yourself to the present moment, be better at acknowledging that whatever you're thinking is just is, accept it. Don't think about your thoughts, right? One of the famous questions Eckhart Tolle asks is, do you know your next thought? Maybe this could be an exercise. So close your eyes right now, and then I'm gonna ask you this question. What is your next thought? We don't know. Like, it just comes, right? You can't tell what's your next thought. And that's very interesting. That really tells you that you are present. Now, also, just apart from meditating, this another powerful question to ask yourself is, who am I? Who am I? Am I my thought? Who am I is a very good question, because sometimes you're not your name, you're not your body. Now, I'm going a little bit too deep with spirituality. I know you want to get to the fitness part. Just hang on. It's going to all relate to each other. It's going to all make sense. But these are things that don't really matter, right? Like, you can't really tell who you are. And that's like a beautiful philosophy for me to understand that I, in a way, don't really exist. And that could be scary for some people. So depending on your understanding of, like, depending on what you are and how much you've studied Buddhism, but I'm just sharing my religion perspective. I'm sure there's similar ones in other religions. So anyways, you want to get your mental health right with meditation. And then second is, I recommend journaling. Journaling, in a way, helps you. When you write your thoughts, it kind of cleanses your mind. It cleanses your mind when you write your thoughts down on a piece of paper. Now, even a better prompt that I recommend is gratitude. So if you can write what I'm grateful for, that's perfect. So if you're working out and you write, I am grateful for today's lift. I'm grateful for today's bicep pump, even though it's not as big as I want it to be. These are small gratitudes that will add on to your life, and you'll become even more and more motivated. So that's very powerful. All these steps seem small and miniature and unimportant, but everything compounds over time. So you have to know that. You need to do that. All right, now we got over the mental health part. Now we're going to talk about how to get better at the gym, right? That's really important. So most people, when they start lifting, they want to go insane. They want to be crazy. They want to do everything. They want to be this maniac. And worst of all is sharing it with their friends. I've seen many people do that, and it's just, I'm not saying not share with your friends, but the thing about sharing with people is that it gossips. And it kind of ruins your reputation. So you kind of want to be quiet about it, right? You want to be, if you're having this self-improvement transformation, keep it to yourself. Like, honestly, the results will show itself. You don't have to share with people. Like, there's no point. I don't get why people do that. It's just, it's kind of annoying. But just keep it to yourself. Don't be like shouting it out your balcony and then letting the whole world know that you're going to the gym and eating clean, because it puts a lot of unexpected pressure on yourself. And then most people that tend to do that end up crashing. They end up giving up, and then they actually look worse than they initially looked. Because another consideration about going to the gym is you're going to have body dysmorphia. It's kind of inevitable, I feel like, because you're looking at yourself in the mirror all the time. So, and you look at the person next to you, and some days they look worse than you, and other days they look way better than you, depending on the person, right? And you don't even know if they're on gear or not. So that's important. So you want to, that's why I said initially, you want to really work on your mental health so you don't get body dysmorphia. Because if you're just going for the looks, you're going to have problems because you're not going to look the best. There's 8 billion people in this world, and there's always going to be someone looking better than you. So you want to fix your mental health. All right, trust me. So that's how I would do it. So don't go too hard. Be just focus on consistency, not too much on intensity. Now intensity is important. Obviously, I try to when I go to the gym. I go away. I go all the way because I like that intensity feeling. I like that intense feeling. I like when my blood circulation is pumping and you know what I mean, right? But what I mean by don't be intense, what I mean by that is don't go hardcore, don't go every day. Like, it's going to take time. It's a new habit that you've incorporated in your life. And you want it to change. You want that habit to change your life. So you don't want to go too crazy at first. And then a good example is like food, right? You enjoy ice cream. Everybody does. But if you eat ice cream, if you eat 2 tubs of ice cream every night, I mean, what is that going to happen, right? You're either going to get sick, or you're going to get really fat, or you're going to get a lot of acne. So there's a lot of side effects. And even with habits, going hardcore with the gym, the side effects are that you might give up sooner or later. You might get burned out. So in economics term, or like in the business world, they say implode. You don't want to implode, right? You don't want to crash. So take it slow. Take your time. All right. Maybe 2 times, or I would recommend 3 times or 4 times a week. That's what I initially started. I actually started off with 3 times a week. I took it very slow. And then as you build up, then you can go more often, as you have like a specific goal in your mind, right? So that's first thing. Second is don't just go off the cuff. You have to follow a program. What I did is I pretty much followed the Gymshark training app. They have a lot of programs up there. So I did that for a good amount of time. Why I recommend you go on a program is because you're not really sure what exercises you want to do. So program will work well for you. Because you just go in there, check your phone, see what you have to do for the day, and then you already know what to do. Now afterwards, as you get better and better, then you can customize it. These days, I pretty much go off the cuff, focusing on specific muscles that I want to grow. I don't really do leg training anymore because I want to fit in my pants, and I'm not really going for that thunder thighs. So I focus more on my shoulders, chest, back these days, right? But that's me after 3.5 years. You should just focus on the program, whatever it's given, because you don't really have much muscle to work with. All right. So we're over with that. So training, these are the 2 important things you should consider. Now, the third most important also is the nutrition. You want to get your nutrition right. I'm not really a big fan of these 2 concepts, bulking and cutting. I think holistically, if you just eat clean, it would just speak for itself. Now, while eating clean, I would also recommend you track calories. It seems quite hard. I get it. I knew it. But what helped me was not just using the cup measure, but actually getting a food tracker, like a food scaler. Actually getting a food scale. That helped a lot. So get a food scale. It will kind of help you. I don't know. I like that beep sound every time I log my food. And maybe I'm just a weirdo. But for you, get a food scale. It will make it super accurate. And then go for your caloric goal. And then stick with it. Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't have resentments, right? If some days, if you go over, most people will probably go over, probably have a caloric surplus. Just do that. It doesn't matter. Have a caloric surplus. It's not a big issue. Don't worry too much about it. But yeah, just eat clean. I doubt you'll go much of caloric surplus as you eat clean. Now, what kind of clean food do I mean is, I mean whole foods. I'm also not really a kind of crazy on diet because, like I said at the intro, you want to reduce friction as much as possible. So not really like these diets. Like these days, there's a lot of diets. Everyone's smart in nutrition, right? Everyone's so-called nutrition experts. But just eat clean. So what I mean by eat clean is whole foods. Eat whole foods. Don't really... A really good way of knowing whether it's whole foods or not is whether it has one ingredient, right? If your food that you're ingesting has one ingredient, it's perfect. That's a whole food. So yeah, that's pretty much it in this video. I hope you will have your dream physique one day. Thank you for tuning in. Leave comments down below if you want to see if you want to see more videos like this, and please do ask me questions if you have any. I would love to hear from you, and I will answer them right away if I hear the comments. And all right, subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and thank you. I hope you achieve your dream physique, and I hope you will. Anyways, I'm just saying things to try to make you feel better right now, because you're going to go into this long goal, but it's exciting. You should be excited. It's going to be fun. It's definitely worth it, because in the end, time is moving, so might as well do something with it. All right. Peace.